cloudy with a high near 46. Tonight, widespread fog and cloudy skies with a low around 41. As we look to Friday, areas of fog and a chance of showers with a high near 70. Currently, it's 40 and foggy. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you, gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happened directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse, your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California.
Finding a reputable business shouldn't require luck or chance. But how can you tell who you can trust? Pro tip, the BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. So think of the BBB as the better, check with the BBB first, because better businesses are honest and commit to high ethical standards bureau. That's why they're better. Always look for the sign of a better business and find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Everyone, this is Jennifer Sanchez. You are listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show on WRMN 1410. Super excited to be here with you guys. And if you guys want to learn more about the station, go to WRMN1410.com. And then, who am I? My name is Jennifer Sanchez. I am the founder of the Wise Alliance Network. I also have founded the Women's Institute of Self-Development and Efficacy, WISE for short. And then, of course, I have been doing this Wise Coffee Chat Show for a really long time. So super excited to be here. I'm a real estate investor and a mom of 3 beautiful girls. So if you want to learn more about me, go to wisealliancenetwork.com. But let's pass it over to my guest. I'm excited to have my guest here today. Do you want to introduce yourself to the listeners?
Sure. Well, first of all, Jen, thank you for having me. My name is Libby Linares Herrera, and I'm an insurance advisor. I've been advising businesses and families for the last, I'm going to date myself here, for the last 23 years now.
Wow, 23 years advising. So where are you mainly doing this at? Where is the main location?
My office.
Can you write to them? We are live here. Yeah, it looks like we are live on the YouTube. All right. So make sure that you communicate with them. But
Oh, no, it's not.
all right. So we had a little technical difficulty, but we're back. So let's go back to Libby.
So again, I'm Libby Linares Herrera. I've been in the insurance industry for 23 years now. I started off in Cicero, Illinois, and now a few years back, we purchased our own building, and we're in North Riverside, Illinois. But we serve all of Illinois and Wisconsin.
Beautiful. So you serve all of Illinois. So what exactly I know you do insurance. What exactly, because I know there's just so many types of insurances, right? Like what is the main focus when you do insurance?
So we focus on auto, home, life, but one of the things that I'm most passionate about is business insurance. So we focus a lot on educating anywhere from like a new business owner on what the right limits of liability should be, like just different things that could possibly affect their business if something went wrong that sometimes they don't even know could affect, income for their employees. And I feel like I'm passionate about that because growing up, my dad had a supermarket, and I just remember his relationship with his insurance advisor was like, you know what, this guy's got my back. He helps us out. And back then, it was like I try to do business the way I saw this gentleman do business is like he'd come to the business because business owners are busy. So he'd say, you know what, just give me 30 minutes of your time, block that out. I'll come to your business. And I feel that business owners appreciate that because they're not taking time out of their busy day to run around and drive in traffic. So, I mean, that's why I feel like commercial insurance and small business is my niche.
So you told me you said that your dad had a restaurant business.
He had both. So growing up, my dad was kind of funny, but he was a milkman, and then from there he started a grocery store, like a corner store, and it was like dry goods, but also like a meat department. And then from there he bought a supermercado, and then of course all supermercados they have a taqueria, and then from there he opened up just a standalone taqueria. So we
That's my favorite. Girl, that was my favorite growing up, going to a grocery store and then there's like a taqueria in there or
You
something. Oh my
you
God.
should have seen how I felt working there. I was like, "Oh my god, like we could eat tacos like 24/7."
Oh my God. Like we actually came up with that concept before other stores, right? Like that's like a normal thing going to a grocery store and then there's like a restaurant in there or something to eat,
I
right?
feel like the American stores took a clue from like the Hispanic stores with the hot
Yeah.
foods and then like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's just open up a restaurant in here."
Yeah, because it's gonna make you stay longer. Like you're
Mhm.
gonna hang out, let's go get our tacos and get our groceries. So I love the fact that you grew up. How did you worked in the restaurant, so you helped your parents out. How did you feel growing up doing that?
Growing up, I loved it. We worked in the supermarket, so we started off as cashiers, and I feel like that really helped us. I mean, we were like 13 working there, so it really helped us to come out of our
Wow.
comfort zone. I remember telling my dad, "I'm not the best Spanish speaking," and he's like, "Just try it. Like they'll correct you. They'll help you if you need to." I mean, they yelled at me too if I did something wrong.
Those old school Hispanic ladies, and they'll be like, "No, that's
Yes,
not how you say it."
exactly.
And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, oh wow, okay. So that's pretty exciting that you had this experience at such a young age, right? To and so you look really young. You said you had your business for 23 23 years. So when did you open up your business? How old were you?
So I graduated from DePaul in 2000. I had a finance degree, and then I worked for corporate America. And then 3 years into it, I started my own agency. Back then, it was with Farmers Insurance, but I'm very close to 50 now.
Oh my God, you look great. You look great. So
Um,
when I first met you, I just saw that you were always working out. Like I see like your social media was always working out, always lifting. Like that was one of the things that you're passionate about, health and wellness. I'm gonna assume because of everything you post on social media.
yes. So I would say, like in 2019, I've always been like pretty athletic, I would say. Just, someone told me when you start good habits when you're young, it pays off. And so I ran track and field and was a shot putter in high school. And then in college, I wasn't that good, so I couldn't qualify to be on any of the teams, but I still kept up with weightlifting and everything. But I was never really consistent until 2019. My sister was a fitness coach and she challenged me like a 30-day challenge, like if you just got consistent with yourself. And I think like there's nothing more like my little sister can't talk to me like that. Like I was bothered by it. But here we are 7 years later, and I've been consistently showing up for myself.
Wow, that's awesome. I love the fact. So your little sister is a fitness guru or fitness instructor.
No, she's an insurance agent.
She's an insurance agent, but she's the one that
She was
challenged.
more passionate about it than I was, and we've just both continued on the journey. But what I think I've helped me stay consistent is that I did see like my dad never really worked out. I mean, it was like I'm working at work, lifting boxes and stuff, but he never really took time to prioritize his health. And he's healthy now and everything, but I see that the toll that it takes on a business owner when they don't take care of themselves. And then, like a year after I started getting serious about things, COVID happened. So it just made me go in deeper to say, like, this is so important, like to take care and know what we're eating and just like educate even my kids, which is sometimes a challenge because, young kids want to eat fast food. And
Yeah, it's really hard, especially when you're entrepreneur, to try to eat healthy. Like, and I'm sure you know, right? Because sometimes you're like on the go. You're trying to do a lot of different things, right? So it's in my opinion, entrepreneurs especially can really lose themselves in that process, right? Like, oh my god, now I got to do this, I got to do that. And so to find the time, how do you find the time to make sure that you're eating well and taking care of yourself while managing the company that you manage? Because you manage the company and your office is located in Berwyn, correct?
in North Riverside, yeah.
North Riverside.
But
Okay.
I'm a lot in Berwyn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how do you manage that? How do you make
So I
that
would
conscious effort?
say, like, for me, the working part is easy because I just love doing it. And I'm like, okay, get up, do it 4 times a week. For me, the meal prepping is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
But now because I have a child that's an athlete, she's 17, I prep for her and then I take advantage and prep for myself and for the whole family. So like doing overnight oats and just planning. You don't have like the thing that overwhelmed me was like, oh my God, I have to plan the whole week. No, you don't have to plan the whole week. Just plan 2 days, or just even instead of trying to plan 3 meals, just plan 2 meals. And so knowing what to go to, like high protein, like just a quick go to. So for me, it's like tuna or sardines, have that in the office, have, whatever you need to mix it up. And if you're not doing bread, have tostadas. But luckily for me, there's a grocery store very close to the office.
All right, so we're going to take a quick short minute break and we'll be right back and continue talking to Libby about her insurance agency. Stay tuned.
If you turned 65 recently like me, it's important you find a Medicare Advantage plan that gives you the coverage you're looking for. But finding one can be difficult. The best thing I did, and I suggest you do the same, is call a licensed insurance agent and let them walk you through your Medicare Advantage plan options. There are so many benefits you have access to, so make the call now and let the representatives explain everything to you. Our licensed insurance agents can offer you a variety of Medicare Advantage plans. Plus, the call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation to enroll. We're here to make it easy for you to select a Medicare Advantage plan that may work for your needs. Finding a Medicare Advantage plan can be easy if you do what I did. Make a quick call right now to learn more. Thank you.
800-433-3082. 800-433-3082. 800-433-3082. That's 800-433-3082.
Before the weather gets too cold, it's time to finish up those outdoor jobs. That's why ComEd wants you to know that electricity can jump from a power line to you and to the tools you're using. So maintain a safe distance from any power lines. You can also call ComEd at 1-800-EDISON-1 to have those power lines de-energized the next time you do any work around them. Stay smart, stay safe, stay back. ComEd, powering lives.
It's easier than you think for pests to threaten your family's health. Ticks, which spread dangerous diseases, hide in tall grasses and even on your pets. Rodents easily invade your home, contaminate food, and can carry more than 35 diseases. Mosquitoes, which breed in standing water, transmit many diseases. Get the facts you need to protect your family at pestworld.org. It's that easy. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
right, we are back live on the Wise Coffee Chat Show. We're talking to Libby here about her business as, would you call yourself an insurance
Advisor.
assurance advisor? And your office is in North Riverside, you said, correct? So now you've had your business for 23 years. Did I say that
Yes.
correctly? Oh, wow. See, I'm good at memorizing. So you had your business. So we were talking about health and how one of the things you noticed was, especially with your dad having a restaurant business, how he was not taking care of himself, right? Because he was on the go, on the go, on the go. So you learned some things. So you were talking about meal prepping, right? Like now you're mindful of your health. So take us on that journey. Like what are the things that you try to implement, especially now that you have staff and employees and all that stuff? What do you try to do to keep yourself healthy?
So I was saying, like, I feel like for women, it's easier for us to take care of others. So if it was just me, I probably would continue to skip meals. But then I know, like, I have to do this for my children. So because my athlete needs to, like, she loves to go to Starbucks, and I know, like, she shouldn't be eating that just because it's
Mm,
still processed foods. So I try to like mimic those sandwiches that they make, and I give her like that. Okay, look, we can do this at home and show her. So I know people laugh at me because she's 17, but I still like make her lunch and make sure that she has like a
okay.
sandwich, the fruit, and everything. Because like when I wasn't doing it, when I was like, okay, you're not, I was like, what did you eat for lunch? She's like, oh, chips and a wrap. But I'm like, oh my God, just chips. Like, I just know that like I've been doing the study, and like we have to have so much like protein intake, and it
Yes.
felt so overwhelming, but I started to learn quick things to get the protein in. So it's like tuna, sardines, eggs, like things like that, even egg whites to add into the eggs, and teaching my kids as we go along, especially because I do have a 20-year-old and a 17-year-old.
Yeah, no, that's important. I can see that being really important. And I love that you're mindful of that for your daughter because she's gonna go into, did I overhear you when we saw each other last? A D1, she's gonna be a D1 athlete.
She doesn't want to do D1. She wants to do like D2 because she's like, I don't want the school telling me I still want to enjoy college. But she's like, but I do want to see if I could get some money for it. So she's looking at, I told her you can even do, you really want a program and it's a D1 school, and do competitive club, and it's not so bad. So just keeping all our options open.
Of course, that's exciting for you as mom. So you're really involved in community, right? Because I know as an entrepreneur, and I love the fact that you're an entrepreneur and you're so involved in community because I think a lot of times entrepreneurs lose touch, right? Like you're so into business, making money, got to make a living, but then you forget about the community that you serve. So it looks like from when I've met you, you've been very involved in different organizations. So I know you serve on a couple of boards. So what boards do you serve on?
So I do serve as the city treasurer for the town, for the city of Berwyn. Prior to that, I was heavily involved with New Life Berwyn, and I would serve as like the youth minister or like youth teacher Bible study. And then I always like had that in me because I feel like as an insurance advisor, you're helping people. So that's my passion, to help people. And I never had political aspirations, but instead I went to City Hall like a Karen complaining about something in the neighborhood. And then they called me back and they're like, the mayor wants to talk to you. I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble now. Like, what does the mayor want to talk to me about? And then they asked me if I would be willing to help and run in their campaign. And I was like, oh, I'm like, I can't just jump on. I need to know this, and that. And so I got involved. I mean, I've lived in Berwyn. We moved there in 91. So like, 35 years now.
Wow. Sometimes you get called, right? And you just got to serve. It's not even an option. Like you said, like he called you, right? You were thinking about it and you're just like, okay, let me step into this.
Yeah, and I had I'm married, so I had to go home and tell my husband, well, they offered me this, and he's like, how do you go in there to complain and come back with a job offer? I'm like, I don't know, but we don't want to leave from Berwyn, and we want to make a difference in our community, because you know what I feel like I've struggled in is maybe always we have our aspirations, but when you're married, you also have to take in mind your family and your
Mhm.
spouse. So it was like asking my husband, like, are you on board with this? He's like, well, how many hours is it going to be a week? What nights do we have to cook for ourselves? That's like the main thing. and then have my kids on board as well.
I love that you say that. And because, I mean, I'm not married right now, but I was married for 18 years. So I get it. Like, you have to include your partner in a lot of the that's a big decision to make, right? And I think that's like, okay, this might be something that I'm going to take on. Can you manage the rest of the responsibilities, or I'm going to be limited? I think that's like a great partnership. So, how have you been able to balance then wife and mom with such a demanding business as well as a political career?
So one of the things, my daughter does play travel volleyball, so 2 nights a week. She's practicing for like 2 hours. So we use that time to be our date night. I know it's like people are like, why do you guys drive together? Like it's an hour drive. We drive there, and whether it's like, okay, a coffee date or a dinner date, but in those 2 hours is our time together. And then every time she does play, we do go together. Like we never say like, okay, you go, I got next time. And I do see like some couples do that, but for us, because we work so much and spend so much time apart, we feel like that's our time together. And it's time to see our daughter play. And some people don't get it, but that's the time that we're feeding into each other and spending time. And we'll always laugh about it. We'll be like, well, it was fun hanging out with you today.
Oh, that's cute. I like that you guys are doing that. Well, no, you have to find time. So you have a demanding job. You have a demanding life, right? I mean, and you're busy with your kids. How many kids do you have?
Too. And
Two?
I have a stepdaughter. She's 32 now. And that we're grandparents too.
Oh, wow. You're a grandma. Cannot picture you as a grandma, but so now when it comes to serving the community and helping the community, like what led you to even want to do that, right? What led you to, out of all the businesses that you could be in, what led you into that?
So what I see happens in a lot of communities is that people like will see a problem, and then this is what my husband said. He's like, you know what, this neighborhood's going down. Like, let's just move. And then you just keep moving further west. And then I said, no, we have to stay and fight for our community, because if we enjoy living here, we have to see what we could do to make a difference, not just keep moving and then you live in a different community, and then that community has its own issues. And so I really feel like, growing up in Little Village, I think that that's what my parents did. They're like, I know, hay mucho ganguero. Let's go this way. Let's keep going. And so I'm not saying like, yeah, if you're outgrow your house and stuff and it's affordable, then keep moving. But I love Berwyn, and I wanted to fight for the community and the values, so that my kids had a safe neighborhood and education and
And
just
Berwyn is a nice area. Berwyn is a nice community. So I'm glad that you did it. So you grew up in Little Village. So you what high school did you go to, if I could ask?
so I went to Gary School on like 31st and Hamlin, but then, I back then was a lottery system. And so I didn't get into Bogan where everybody wanted to go. So I had to go to Farragut, and I was crying because I'm like,
Farragut?
I'm not gonna make it there. Like they're gonna devour me, or I'm gonna have to change and devour them. And I ended up going to Mother Macaulay on the south
You
side.
said I have to change and devour them. I love that you said that. Like,
It's like I'm gonna have to like step it up because my mom grew up in that neighborhood. She's like, Farragut was okay when I went, but I don't know about now for you.
yeah, no, I love that you're saying that because I remember those Farragut girls. But but what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna take a quick short break, and we come back. We're gonna talk more about what plans you have and what you're working towards in the near future. So make sure you guys stay tuned and don't.
When disaster strikes, water fire, every second counts. At Emergency Construction Group, they specialize in immediate response.
With your news flash, I'm Ryan Gatenby, brought to you by Cintas. Illinois lawmakers are considering legislation targeting hidden fees by alternative retail energy suppliers. One proposal would tie supplier rates to what utilities charge, while another would bar utilities from passing along advertising and legal costs to consumers. A new Wallet Hub report ranks Illinois with the highest state and local tax burden in the nation. The study says taxes on median households are about 53% higher than the national average. Alaska, Delaware, and Wyoming have the lowest tax rates. SNAP in Illinois has expanded its offerings to include new foods, additional package sizes, and food quantity adjustments to align with nutrition science and dietary needs. On average, more than 175,000 Illinois residents receive WIC benefits each month. I'm Ryan Gatenby with your news flash.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The greatest insult the Colonel ever suffered was being served a wrap that was just a snack by a friend. So he took 2 crispy tenders, lettuce, tomatoes, and pepper mayo, and wrapped them in a soft tortilla. It wasn't a snack, it was a meal. He called it a twister, and never called that friend again. The Colonel lived, so we could chicken. The Twister, now back at KFC, classic or with bacon. Also try it spicy. It's finger-licking good.
Prices and participation may vary.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance, a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment, a pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Elgin isn't just a city. It's a community built on connection, innovation, and opportunity. And at the heart of it all is the Elgin Chamber of Commerce. For over a century, the Elgin Chamber has helped local businesses grow, connecting entrepreneurs, advocating for progress, and inspiring the leaders of tomorrow. Whether you're a new business just starting out or an established company looking to expand, the Elgin Chamber is your partner for success. Join a powerful network of leaders making a difference in our community every day. Together, we're shaping the future of Elgin, one connection at a time. Elgin Area Chamber of Commerce, where business and community grow together. Call now, 847-741-5660, or go to info@elginchamber.com. Contact Carol Gieske.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Today, areas of drizzle and fog before 9 a.m., then widespread fog with a high near 46. Tonight, cloudy with widespread fog and a low around 41. Tomorrow brings patchy fog and a chance of thunderstorms with a high near 70. Currently, it's 42 and foggy. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry! File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Hey guys, we are back. Super excited. If you guys have not been watching, you've been missing out. But this is Jennifer Sanchez. You are watching the Wise Coffee Chat Show on WRMN 1410. And we're here with Libby. And what is your insurance? Now I'm thinking, what's the insurance company called?
Linares Insurance Group.
Linares Insurance Group. So now, if you guys have missed it, we've been talking about health and entrepreneurship and balancing mom, wife, all that good stuff, and how she serves her community. So I'm curious. So your biggest passion is financial literacy, correct?
That's one of my passions, yes.
So why financial literacy, right? Like, what is the need? Why do people need to be financially literate?
I feel like every time I sit down with clients, I mean, their main concern is money, right? Trying to save on insurance. And then when I get to the question about life insurance or retirement, they don't have any of that sometimes. Or especially for Latinos, they are like, well, Social Security and like that little bit of pension that I had from the company I worked at. And then I meet other people and they just have such a grasp and they were so disciplined at a young age to save. And so it's like, I just feel like there's so much misinformation, and then people go to TikTok and they don't really know who's a trusted source to go to. So as a city treasurer, I really want to focus on financial literacy in the community that I serve. So we do plan to do some workshops around that, like basic money set, money mindset, and then going because at the beginning of the year, everybody's thinking like I should budget, just like we think I should get on a diet and start taking my health seriously. But I started to like peel back that, and I said, You can't just jump into budgeting without really understanding why you're doing it, the why, and breaking some of those mindsets or cycles, the chains that we have around money. Sometimes it's fear, sometimes it's the scarcity mindset.
Or just the unknown, right? Like no one really taught you. You're kind of just learning as you go and just watching, like maybe your parents, right? They didn't know how to manage money. They maybe overspent, or I don't know, right? Like what the reasons could be of why. But so financial literacy, I think, is an important topic, right? Talking about why you need a budget, right? Why you need to have a good credit score, like, how to use other people's money. Well, that's the stuff that I do for investing, right? I'm big on
That's what you
OPM.
have to teach me.
Yeah, I'm about OPM, like let's use other people's money. But I love that, it's important, especially for the Hispanic community,
Yes.
because the Hispanic community is so vulnerable. I don't think, at least from when I remember when I used to do financial literacy years ago, like they were always being taken advantage of, especially with the market crash in '08, the sharks that were coming after like vulnerable communities, right? Like who's there really protecting those that don't know this information, right? I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I feel like there is a target. Like I've seen one specifically, like one of my clients started investing in crypto, or so they thought. And a group in the community started getting together. I feel like it was a Ponzi scheme, obviously, because people were coming back saying, "Look, I invested this much and I like doubled my money." So then here came this client, it's like, "Oh man, I put 20,000 in there." And then the money was gone, and then the Ponzi scheme was busted, and he was like, "Oh, they were just taking everybody's money and then paying like the like new
Oh
set of
my
investors."
gosh.
And so he tried to find them, and there was nothing that he could do. And so it really broke my heart. So I just feel like there's not enough trusted resources for them to go to, right? Because you tell them like, go to your bank, go here, but they really going out there to get the information? So I feel like even if you start educating them at a young age, like in high school, having those conversations, credit 101, what not to do, because I didn't know when I got to college. I was like, oh, we can get a credit card.
Oh yeah.
And then I, go get the credit card, got my free t-shirt. And then I was like, oh, I got to pay this every
I
month.
gotta pay pay a bill. Yeah.
And so just things like that, just the
Oh.
pitfalls to avoid when it comes to credit.
Yeah, I remember, I think maybe at one point in my life I had like 10 credit cards, and it was like that, like college, and then I got a credit card and then another credit card and then another credit card, and then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh my, like I have to pay this down," until finally like my credit card bill was like a car note. And then I was like, "Yeah, no, this is not, thank God I got into real estate, cuz real estate helped me like bring that down so quickly." But I was just like, I can't do this. Like it's gonna kill me. But people don't know, right?
Mhm.
You just get excited that you could swipe something and buy things. And now it's like, I'm the most frugal person though. Now I am so frugal. Like the only thing that I struggle with the most is I love to go eat out, and I love to like take myself out to eat. Like I love restaurants. Like, I like nice restaurants too. So I'm okay with like going to a nice place and splurging on that. That's really my pitfall.
Well, I think that's good because then like you like the experience, and sometimes I see people like for me, and for instance, I was like, why do I always feel the need to buy that new outfit? And then I look at stuff and I'm like, oh my God, why did I buy that? Now I have to purge all this stuff. So I'm really trying to be disciplined, not to introduce anything new into my wardrobe, and, kind of doing that thing like flip everything around. And if you don't wear it, gift it. And so
Yeah.
I think we've all had our experiences and the mistakes we've made, and letting people know, you know what, we're not perfect. And even in this journey, I started to realize some of the limiting mindset, my limiting beliefs that I had around money, and asking God to like show me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I still believe this. That's wrong, right? But if we don't really sit down to plan, how are we supposed to know? Like, and if we don't have good guidance, like we're just
Yeah.
going to keep doing the same old thing.
Yeah, yeah, and there's different teachers on financial literacy. There's different gurus out there. You said something earlier that I think it's really important, is that as much as I love social media and as much as I can like get consume a lot of social media, like I'll sit there and just like consume a lot. You got to be real careful on who these gurus are or who these experts are, or especially in the finances, right? Like, oh my God, I like the crypto stuff, like you said, right? Like I stay away from that stuff. I'm like, if there's nothing tangible attached, like I like assets. So like I know that my money investing in real estate, there's an actual building right there, right? I don't know about this crypto stuff. I'm not knowledgeable in that, but I try to like be mindful of these things that are on social media, because there's a lot of information out there. How do you know what's legit, what's credible, what's really accurate and what's not accurate?
Well, like the big thing I saw in the Hispanic community was they'd come to me and they'd say, I want the life insurance that accumulates money. And I already knew it was universal life. But they think that the minute they put in like 400, $1,000, that there's going to be money they could tap
Yep.
into. I'm like, you realistically won't tap into that for like 8 years. What do you mean? I thought, I'm like, you can't just go off of that. Like, you have to work with a trusted professional. And then when I really went through it, they're like, I don't want that. Like, I can't wait that long for the money to accumulate. But I just feel like there's a lot of misconceptions and misinformation.
There is, and a lot of people have told me about that use it, and you can use it to invest in real estate.
Be your own bank.
Yeah, be your own bank. Use it to pay your kids' college, and then when you really break down the numbers, you're like, it's almost like a forced savings account. It seems more like to
And
me.
it has to be properly structured and funded. And that's what they don't always understand.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So, what are the kind of, and I know you said this earlier, but like, what kind of insurances again do you focus in on?
So we focus primarily on commercial insurance.
Okay.
And then after that, the auto, the home, and we do life insurance. So we have helped people with universal life, but we make them understand that, you know what, you shouldn't be using this as a form of like savings. Like this is like life insurance. I mean, you could structure it where you're maximizing that cash value. And we show them that. And we try to educate them on the importance of, if they have children, getting them insured at a young age. And it's not to make money if they pass away, but it's to set them up, because so many kids, are unfortunately diagnosed with different ailments that then they can't get life insurance. And we see it all the time in our community with the GoFundMe's. And I'm like, you know what, for $30, I could insure a couple like in their 20s and at least pay their mortgage. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of our mission, is to educate them, put them in a better position.
Now, curious, I forgot to ask this question because I usually ask it in the beginning. What kind of coffee do you like? What's your favorite go-to coffee drink?
So I don't really drink, like I'm not a coffee addict anymore. So in the morning I start my days with lemon water and sea salt.
Oh,
And then I give it like an hour. And then I've been making, I saw this on TikTok, the French toast. That's why I'm like, I should lay off the sugar. So she bought this Nespresso, like espresso powder, and you mix it with the water, and then you put cinnamon, then you put a teaspoon of maple syrup. And then you add, like, because my daughter likes it. So I was like, you don't have to go to Starbucks. I know how to make it. And then you put whatever milk of choice, and you put ice, and it's like an ice latte, but it's got, I guess the maple syrup gives it that French toast feel.
oh,
So
I
she likes it.
see.
So when I want something sweet, I'll gravitate towards that. But like this Keurig stuff is like fine for me.
Just
It's
plain.
this right now, because I'm trying not to have sugar. I'm like, it's fine. Like you adapt, and you're like, I just need the caffeine right now to stay up or whatever. But I try not to. There was a time where I was like, I need the coffee first thing in the morning, and then when I learned that that's not the first thing you should put in your body, it changed everything.
Oh yeah, coffee is definitely very acidic, right? So acidic is not good, and then it's not good. Like if it, that's how cancer grows. Cancer grows in acidity, right?
Yeah.
So I know coffee.
But my small business owners in Berwyn, the Pink Owl coffee shop, that one's
Oh, really? Oh, the pink owl. I've been there. And you know what's funny? I have a whole video that I need to put out there. Like, like I try to create videos of like places I go. And I went to the pink owl. I loved it. I love their chilaquiles.
Yeah.
Like I'm still like such a Mexican, when it comes to food. Like, and I was like, I gotta put my video out there to promote them, but I haven't done it yet. But I do like the pink owl. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
So my coffee shops would kill me if they're like, "What? You don't like coffee?" I do, and the Pink Owl has a really good café de la olla.
Yeah, Café de la Olla. Oh, and just so you know, they wanted you to know it's a donut blend coffee that you're drinking
Oh,
right now.
donut blend. Okay, okay.
I was like, what are they trying to tell me right now? No, that's good. So you're not a big coffee drinker, which is great. You do the water. I think that just says a lot about your personality, right? Because I always feel like when I ask people like, what do you like to drink in the morning? Like I feel like when they're like, I like to drink, I don't know, coffee and cream, but like I have to have six sugars, and I'm like, oh my god, that's like just sugar
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, my husband's pretty good. He loves coffee. So my mom works at Starbucks, so he gets like she'll get her employee discount and always gives him a bag
Oh,
of
that's
coffee.
nice.
And I'm always like, "Don't drink that. Don't let that be the first thing you drink." And I'm like stopping him, and he's just like, "Why are you stopping me?" I'm like, "Drink some lemon water. Have this."
Let me eat my stuff, woman.
Yeah.
I love coffee and I love grinding the coffee. I mean,
He
that to
does
me
that
is
too.
fun. That's so
It's
much fun
fresh.
to me. I like fresh coffee. I think for me, it's just coffee is so cultural,
Yeah.
especially in the Hispanic community. Like, I don't know about you, but like I was drinking coffee like at 5.
My grandmother used to give us the cafe, like the instant coffee con
Yeah,
leche
con leche.
y con
Yeah.
un pan tostado.
Yeah, with bun or bread or crackers, animal crackers. I
Yeah.
loved animal crackers with my coffee as a kid.
Oh,
It was
now
just an
now I want like the
experience.
Maria cookie right
Yeah,
now. You should bring some.
I know. I should remind me, guys, bring cookies every time we have coffee. I'd be eating the whole time, like
Yeah.
dunking my cookie in there. I just think it's an experience, right? It's more, that's why like coffee shops are experiences, restaurants are experiences. Especially depending like nowadays, I think I notice restaurants are more conscious of that people want an experience when they're going into their
Yes.
restaurant. It's not like a quick go in, get like a taco, get out. Like
Yeah, I mean, one of the businesses I recently insured was in Little Village, Carnitas Urapan, and that place
I've
is
heard of that place.
beautiful.
Is that the one that has a big concha breads? No,
No,
that's not it. Okay, that's another one.
it's on Hamlin in 26. It used to be the old Concordia,
I
and
remember that
they
place.
had an event this Saturday, and I had to inspect the building. But it was such a vibe in there. I told my husband it felt like it was just so colorful. Everything was so modern, and the line to get the carnitas, like the owner of the carnitas place comes to you with a tortilla, and the guy chopping up the carnitas gives you like a scoop of carnitas, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm supposed to be insuring this place, and I'm like
You're
eating
eating.
carnitas and then picking out, okay, what do you want? And then, okay, you want the salsas, aguacates. It's all laid out for you. So you have to try that place,
Oh,
Carnitas Urapan.
I'm going. So carnitas, for those that are listening, it's basically kind of like
Pork?
pork. Yeah,
Yeah.
pork. And then pork where you have like I don't want to say intestines. I don't think intestines are in it. It's the ears are in it, right?
Yeah.
Skin is in it, like toasted skin is in it. It's like, I don't know, there's a bunch
Yeah,
of
they fry it all up and it tastes delicious.
yeah.
I try not to have them too much, but anytime I go into a restaurant, I got to try their food.
It is so good, carnita. So yeah, I just love it. No, Jennifer, don't think about food right now.
I know.
It's too early to be thinking about this. So you have an event coming up, right? I heard you tell me earlier you have something coming up that you wanted to promote.
Yeah, so we're actually launching our first financial literacy class. It's going to be online via Zoom. It's going to be on Wednesday, March 18th in the evening at 6 p.m. We're going to start them on Zoom so anybody can tune in, but we're going to talk about money mindset. And then from there, we're eventually going to evolve to in person. and just kind of gauge like what the group really wants, because I've had people like help me come back from bankruptcy. So like
Oh,
finding speakers that could speak on the theme or like the topic, and then inviting the people to attend,
yeah.
and then home ownership, home ownership 101, and then maybe investing. And so doing those where it can come and be a safe space and there's no dumb questions, like everybody just ask your questions.
Yeah, because financial literacy is so broad, right? Like there's so much now that you said, like there is, it's credit, it's budgeting, home ownership, investing, insurance. Like there's so many areas, trusts, right?
Yes.
Like where does someone start? This can be so overwhelming for a person that's just trying to figure it out. And let me just start from the basics, right?
Mhm.
How do I just start from the basics, you know? So I guess maybe we could talk about that. Like if someone is listening or watching, they're like, okay, I want to learn more about just becoming more financially savvy, having a money mindset. Where would I start?
I would say like tracking. So like whatever your goal is tracking just how like how now we can just waste so much time on social media. I've started reading a book, and it's like, okay, like you really want to get serious, track your time for 2 weeks, track your expenses for 2 weeks, and see like where your expenses are going. And then as you see that, you say like, oh my gosh, like like I'll tell you, for instance, my teenager, her dad spoils her whatever she wants. And I'm like, Starbucks again, like 3 Starbucks trips, a week. That adds up like
That's a
six.
good $20 right
Yeah.
there.
So tracking your expenses. And if, like figuring out like you like to eat out, right? So then saying, you know what, that was a great experience. I ate with my friend and that's a non negotiable. I'm going to keep that. But then you're like, I went to Marshall's for this and how'd I spend $200? I'm going to stop going to Marshall's. Like little things like that. That might be my own testimony.
No, I know. I was just thinking that the other day. I was like, every time I go out, it costs me this much to go out when I'm out there. So remind yourself, like, then I was like, I want to take a trip somewhere. So I'm like, maybe I need to stop doing this and move that money this way, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's just making those little adjustments in your spending, right? Because it
Mhm.
costs a lot to go out. It's cheaper to stay
And
in.
even I think they have different apps. I can't remember all the names, but that will track like your subscriptions. So I
Yeah.
realized like, oh, I subscribed to another gym and I don't even go to that one. So I have to go cancel that membership.
Yeah.
So just finding, I guess they say like the leaks in your budget, like little things that you're like, why am I paying for this? There was a time where like I had my own Amazon Prime and so did my husband. I'm like, why are we paying Amazon Prime twice? And so things like that. I mean, I used to
Yeah.
hear the word budget and my stomach hurt because my husband's an accountant. And he'd be like, we have to work on the budget for the business. Like, you're
Oh,
overspending. And I'd be like, I just would get like so much, like, I don't know if it's like trauma. And I think that that stems from childhood.
yeah.
When my mom and dad used to have to talk about money, my dad had the money. My mom would need to be like, hey, I need money for the girls, for this, that, the other. And then they divorced. And I just remember the stress my mom had
Oh,
in going through that and feeling like she depended on my dad. And she told us like, don't ever depend on a man for your income, figure out how to do it on your own. And so I came
so
into my
deep.
marriage with a chip on my shoulder already, and
Yeah.
it was like through therapy we figured that out, like where does this stem from.
Yeah.
But it's willing to do the work on yourself.
I love that. I love because it's hard, right? Isn't it most single moms fall into poverty? Or it's like a huge percentage like they're in under the poverty they're in the, under the poverty line because they're single and it's harder for women, especially with kids to make money. Like I don't remember the percentage, but I just saw it not that long ago. I don't know if you know.
I saw it too, and I think it's like somewhere like in the 40s or even higher,
Yeah.
40%. But like my mom's 68 now and she works at Starbucks and she wants to retire and she's like, I still like with the cost of everything going up, I still don't think I can make it with Social Security and that. And she's like, and I see my mom and I feel like I have to help her work on her mindset because she's like, has already this mentality that I'm never gonna make it.
Oh.
And so you're already starting like so far behind the 8 ball if you come in with that mentality.
Yeah. And now that we're tapping into this, I remember when I would do financial literacy, it's so much easier for people to just cut things out. Like, let's start cutting out bills. Let's start cutting out things that are not necessary. It's much harder for people to figure out how to make money. How do I add an extra 1,000, 2,000 to my income? Right? Like that's a gift. I don't think most people have that mindset. Like, how can I quickly like I need a quick $1,000. How am I gonna make that? What can I do? What can I sell? What can I, offer to make that amount of money? But that is something that has to be like almost like you have to train yourself to think like that because most people can't do that.
Well, a lot of times in the Latino culture, we still think that we have to exchange our time for money. And so even like as I'm researching, I told you like user generated content and stuff. My husband's like, "What are you doing? That's crazy." That people don't make money like that. I'm like, they do make money this way.
People do make money like
And
that.
so I'm researching and like figuring things out. And I think for like if you talk like if my mom saw me, she's like, ¿Qué estás haciendo? Cosas locas, like crazy things you're thinking, you have crazy, dreamy ideas. But I really think that, you're trying to figure out like, okay, how do I leverage my skill set to make more money?
Yeah. I know that I follow I don't know if you're into any specific gurus, but I follow Laurel Langmeyer and she has the ATM and I'm in her fast cash coaching. So one of the biggest things that she says is list all your skills that you have. Every skill and ability that you have, just start listing them out. And then how can you monetize? How can you
Oh, I
make
like
money off of
that.
that? So like it would be like cutting grass, doing makeup, doing this, doing that, and just list everything. And from there, okay, how can we generate? So that's I mean, that's the type of training that I like. I know that there's others that are more conservative. Like what's the other guy that everyone loves right now? I forget his name.
Ramit?
Say it again.
Ramit? Oops. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Um, So either way, so when again, share with us when's the next financial literacy event gonna happen again?
It is March 18th on a Wednesday at 6 p.m. And I'll email you the link if you want to share it with.
Of course. And if someone wants to reach out to you, get in touch with you, learn more about what you're doing, where do they go?
You could follow me on Instagram. Libby My Agents is the best way, or my website is lenaresinsgroup.com. And reach out, and I'd be happy to help you with whatever you need.
Yeah. So you guys know anything that has to do with you said again the type of insurance someone could reach out to you for. What was it again?
Commercial insurance. So if you're just starting out your business and you don't really know what type of insurance you need, it's important to have an insurance policy to protect you. But also if you're a first time home buyer, or I do get questions with like teenage drivers, I can help you save there too.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one because I don't want to. I need that. I'm like, I need that for my teenager. I love that. So people can come to you. So again, what's the website again?
www. Do people still say that part? lenaresinsgroup.com.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening and watching. You guys are amazing. Have a blessed. Thank you so much for being here with us. And thank you for watching. You guys have a blessed rest of your week.